Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video with Tank Viewer today, and today we're doing well, boys and girls, and glad you asked because today we're back on ARK Survival Ascended. That's right, we're doing ARK Survival Ascended or Tank. Well, again, I'm glad you asked because today we're doing our mod review. That's right, another mod review, and this mod is a pretty awesome mod. It is how can I put this? It's a revamped, I guess you could say. Well, I mean, majority of the mods are more somewhat on our extended. But this is from the original Annunaki, just being developed by a complete different mod developer. And honestly, he's done a good job of making this mod. And I am pretty excited to do a mod review on this mod. This mod is awesome in a lot of ways because it just brings the original Inanuki from the original Ark Survival Evolved over to Ark Survival Ascended. But we're going to go over some of the details of this mod and stuff like that. Some of the creatures, some of the structures, and there is some things I have to say that I couldn't spawn in. I've tried spawning in the tameable versions of the Uber bosses. These guys I tried, but for some reason I couldn't spawn them in. Every time I tried to spawn them in, it crashed my game. And there was another creature I tried spawning in too. This couldn't do it either because it kept on crashing my game. So yeah, but we're gonna go over some of the stuff about this mod and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get right into it. We'll save the creatures for last, and let's go over to this. The Inanuki Fabricator gets 500 slots, and yeah, as you can see, we get the Prometheus armor, the Elgon's armor, and Raphis armor, which is the main three Celestials of the mod. Then we get the Inanuki stuff, which, you know, all of this. We got the electronics, we got the Palmer, and we got Crystal. Structures. Of course, this way was allow you to craft the Inanuki Forge, Industrial Forge, and also Chemistry Bench. We get the storage, which is the Inanuki Vault. Weapons, of course, we got the ammo. We got shotgun ammo, Inanuki metal arrows, Inanuki railgun bullets. Okay, and Inanuki sniper bullets with also tranquilizing sniper bullets and Inanuki tranquilizing sniper bullets again. Okay, arrows. We got the frost metal arrows. We got fire metal arrows, and we got tranquilizer metal arrows. Darts. We got, of course, the Inanuki tranquilizing darts. You know, all the normal big stuff. Plus, you could also craft all the vanilla stuff in here. You know, like the regular weapons and all that. Front range. What the frick is this? Good. Oh, never mind. I know what that is. That's from when the Aberration DLC came out with the Bob Stealth. But that is the Inanuki Fabricator, which you can craft all vanilla stuff. The majority of them mod stuff too, which is pretty cool. It's almost like a big old generator with the tech piece, fabricator piece in the middle of it. It kind of looks like a generator, doesn't it? But that's pretty cool. Then we got the Inanuki Forge, which, of course, it has 600 slots, which you can put metal in here and smelt. I bet it can smelt, raw metal ingots into regular metal ingots, which you're going to need for majority of the Inanuki stuff. But this is going to tell you require gasoline or power to be active, of course. Put 1 times obsidian, 1 times crystal, and 1 times metal ingots. Smelt them into Inanuki metal ingots, which you're going to want to use if you want to craft majority of the stuff like that. But before you even get to that, you're going to need this thing, which is that's the same thing. It gets 24 slots. So yeah, it's just a regular forge, or I should say, an Anuki forge, but it still would be better than crafting the vanilla forge. So I believe it spouts the stuff faster. Then we have the vault, the Annunaki vault, which gets about 1,500 slots, which is really nice to have. And the cool thing about them, you can put them up high and put them very close to your wall. So they're not right out in the way and stuff. You're trying to run and you're trying to get to something and something like that. It's on the other side of it. Yeah, these are pretty cool. You could just walk right beside something like this. Let's say we have stuff in here we want out. We take it out, put it in here, and boom, bing, boom, boom. Yeah. And then, of course, you have them, they could be stacked on the side of a wall, so they're not all in the way. So if you have like a bunch of votes and stuff, yeah, this is just really nice. I like this idea, allowing the votes to be placed on walls and up close, and they're very skinny and stuff, but still have a lot of slots. So yeah, props go to that. Next will be the Annunaki um smithy or workbench as it's called. Of course, you could craft any of the vanilla stuff, but you also have your Inanuki stuff, like weapons. We already did the MO, I think. Alright. Of course, we get the rifle bullets. Of course, we get the darts. We get firearms, which we got a Inanuki long neck rifle. Okay. We got metal tools. We got the Inanuki hatchet and pick, which actually, wait. Um, The Ananuki pig, yeah, it's this one. Ananuki pig can harvest silica for, I mean, seashells for silica pearls. Metal ore gives extra resources like crystal and silica pearls. And obsidian gives extra resources. Crystal gives extra resources like silica pearls. So if you're going to go harvest metal and stuff like that, yeah, this thing will also harvest Silco pearls. So that's pretty expensive to get this. You're going to need 150 Nuki metal ingots, one artifact, 100 wood, which is not expensive. But what's expensive part will be is the artifact and black pearls, 300 black pearls and one regular metal pick. This one, it will also require everything but the hatchet. And this one also can harvest seashells for silco pearls, what gives extra resources like sap, which is very good. Stone gives extra resources as well. So that's pretty cool that these two tools do that. Then we have the lance, which does torpor to creatures because it's a torpor dealing type of weapon. We have we already did melee tank. We got primitive. We got the Inanuki sword and the Inanuki stick, which as you can see, everything costs a artifact. And then first we have the Inanuki crossbow, which, oh, no durability either. Two clips, so you fire one shot, you're actually firing two shots, which is nice. I like that. And that is the Inanuki workbench. So let's see, saddles. Alphas, yeah, right here. Of course, you could craft a whole bunch of alpha saddles. um, but what regular creatures like the badasses will not take alpha saddles, they would take original vanilla saddles, like the original Nuki does. So nice there. Then we have the Energy Lab Bench, which yeah, it does all this regular stuff what the original Nuki bench does, like crouch all of this stuff, and I'm guessing that too. I'm not sure what that's already okay. I didn't craft any of this here, guys, so yeah. Then you can also craft these things right here, which these are the uh oh my gosh, how do you want to put this? It's the kibble to tame the celestials, those big giant monsters over there. But it's pretty expensive to craft these because you're going to kill every single warden and also a primal dragon and also a warden tokens. So yeah, it's pretty expensive to get them, but in the long term, it's worth it. But this one needs you to kill a primal Dodo Rex. And this one's going to need you to kill a primal dragon again. So yeah. Yeah. And this one looks like you need also kill Raphis. And what about this one? Do you need to kill Eldon? Yes, you do. This one you need to kill Promoteus as well. So even though you got kill all the wardens, you still gotta kill the three celestials, which they got a lot of health. But also not that you have treats, which you have alpha treats, which is basically your kibble in the mod. Yeah. Then you have badass treats, one for each tier. You have the mountain, which is your harvesting dinos. Then you have fire. Then you have frost, and then you have poison, which poison does torpor. Then you have the kick-ass creatures, which are the kick-ass babies and the drakes, which is the broth able to tame them. Then we have Uber broth, which is to tame the Ubers, which you need the dragon insignia, and then the brood mother and the Mississippiticus one. So yeah, pretty expensive. I believe you got to. I could be wrong. Kill them. The able to get this stuff. So yeah, you gotta kill 3 guys to get that stuff. Then we have consumables, drugs. We get regular narcotics, regular stims, and bug repellent. And then the Annunaki stuff, Annunaki consumables, drugs. We have Annunaki narcotics. Got that. Potions. We got the Annunaki stamina potion, oxygen filled potion, health potions, and stamina potions, and also team helpers, which you might want to use. Resources: we got the Inanuki gunpowder, the Inanuki paste. Um, these are the let's say this. This is your summoners, which explains everything. It summons in some of the bosses. We got the primals, which is the dragon, the Dodo Rex, the Broodmother, and the Mississippiticus. Does it cost to craft these guys? Yeah, again, it's a grind, but whatever. Then we have the War Chief, which is the final end game boss. And then we got Wardens. We got each one. Mar Warden of the Ocean. I'm probably not going to say all their names, but we got the Warden of the Swamp, Warden of the Rivers, Warden of the Plains, Warden of the Beaches, Warden of the Snow, Warden of the Mountains, Warden of the Grasslands, and the Sky Warden as well. So, yeah, these are all the bosses you're going to be fighting throughout the mod. It is going to be a grind, but, well, well, what is there to think? I mean, honestly, that don't really matter if this is going to be a grind or not. Probably not. But let's get right to it. So, we're going to start off with the badass creatures first, and then work our way up. Because, well, actually, no, not badass. We're going to start from the elite. Sadly, I didn't spawn in champions, but there is champion creatures in the mod pack as well. So, yeah. But we got the elite dodo. Of course, we'll get the elite dodo. It has about 501.9 into health. Not bad. Guys, it also has 350 into stamina, 150 into oxygen, about 517 into food, 3,000. Actually, no, that's not even 3,000 tank. Get it right, bud. 300 into weight, 974.1 into melee, and 300 into movement speed. Yeah. And then, of course, we got a normal bite. Nothing there. We got jump, and that's basically it. Yeah. This is one of your first creatures that you're going to be taming in the mod pack. But before we go ahead and go forward, we use the pick, the hatchet, the lance, which looks like it has a little bow on the top of it, the long neck rifle, the crossbow, which that looks cool. That looks so freaking wicked. Let's look at it with right here. Look at that thing. That it's glowing red. Who does not like a red crossbow? And then we have also a compound bow as well. Next, we'll be looking at the mountain tier creatures, which all these guys are, your harvestable type of dinosaurs, your Anki, your Doedicurus, Therizinosaur, asteroids, all those types of creatures. But this guy gets about 22.9 thousand health, 2,000 to stamina, 150 in oxygen, 3,450 into food, 6,000 into weight, which, okay, a lot of weight, 974.1 into melee, and movement speed is 160. Of course, you get the regular tail swipe, go into a ball, and this guy's a lot more faster than your vanilla Doedicurus, so yeah, they're all going to be pretty dang fast. But except if you're walking, but honestly, he's going to be walking. You're probably going to be using this guy mostly for his ball form, or his ball form to get to rock, or unless you're using Argentavis's. But yeah, next we have the Badass Frost Connoisseurs, or Badass Frost tier. He has about 21.5 thousand health, about 3,000 to stamina, 150 into oxygen, 2,300 into food, 8,000 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 108.5 into movement speed. Okay. Of course, we get the regular bite, we get the headbutt, and that's it. No special abilities for these guys. Then let's go here to the badass poison tier. We have about 15.3 thousand into health. Then we have about 350 into stamina, 150 in oxygen, 380 into food, 450 into weight, 702.9 into melee, 135 into movement speed, which not bad. Of course, you get a bite, and of course, you can take off, and you can go in reverse and left and right, which I like that idea that flyers can go back up, and you get the regular trend on barrel roll. And not only with all of that, this tier can also knock out other things. So if I would be suggesting anything, if you do start playing this mod, go for the badass poison creatures. It will definitely save you time, strengths, and metal ignits to craft something up like a crossbow, a long neck rifle, even a lance. I mean, if you can get these stuffs very early into the game or the mod, then yeah, I would use those. But if you don't want to waste your time on bigger things, like this big old guy right here, um, the poison tier would be very helpful. Just to help you knock things out and stuff. Next is the fire tier, which we have 43,000 into health. Then we have about 750 into stamina, 650 into oxygen, 2,600 into food, 1,450 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 100 into movement speed. And of course, you get the bite, We get the stance, of course the normal swipe, and the taunt. And that's it. And this guy also still gets the, oh my gosh, what is it? The water buff because it is a spinal. Next is your alpha tier, which, yeah, okay, I spawned an alpha Rex. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. But he has about 250,000 into health. And his other stats, there's about 1,420 into stamina, 150 into oxygen, 3,000 into food, 2,000 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 100 into movement speed. And of course, we get a regular taunt, bite, the taunt, and that's it. And he's a lot more faster too, especially when he's running. But yeah, after Rex, I just couldn't pass it up. I had to spawn one of these guys in. And of course, remind you guys, all these guys are also at level 1, so keep that as a note as what the stats are as a level 1, so they might be higher on your single player world or your server as well. I was gonna say dedicated, I don't know why I was gonna say dedicated. Next is the traits, which comes in all 3 shapes of this. There's also the kick-ass babies, but like I said, I couldn't spawn them in because every time I try spawning one in, I use both. I tried using ARK Nuclear, and then I also tried using the admin command of spawning the babies in. But every time I try to spawn in, it will crash the game. So you just gotta believe me that there is a kick-ass baby as well. It's a little baby Dodo Rex. But this guy has about 100,000 into health, about 1,250 in stamina, 150 into oxygen, 2,000 into food, 1,450 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 100 into movement speed. And like I said, these guys comes in 3 of the elemental tier, the frost, and the fire, and of course poison. That's, I believe, also the babies do it too, but you get a flight, of course, backwards and left and right and forward. You get a bite. You get also the fire breath, and that's it, I believe. Actually, wait. No, you can't use weapons back to the sky. Okay, whatever. It goes on the ground. You get a normal bite and fire breath. So yeah. And can I get off the guy? Oh, my bad. I need to find one myself. But that is the normal tiers, except the champion tier. There's a champion tier, which is like that, which both champion tier and elite tier takes regular like berries or meat and stuff to tame up. So yeah. Next is your Celestials. That's right. These big old boys over here. We're gonna start from Elegon because he's the smallest and the least loudest one of them all. We have about 8 million health now. Remind you, this is a level 1. So, in your world, with duplicates, either your single player world or your server, these guys are going to be higher lows. Now, these guys you don't knock out by, you know, tame them by knocking them out. They're passive tame. They take those things I showed you inside the Annunaki chemistry bench. But yeah, let's see what this guy can do. Or at least his other stats can get to him. There we go. So we got about. Is that like 5? I think that's 50,000 into stamina. About 17,500 into weight, 100 into melee, and 100 into movement speed. And of course, this guy can go reverse, sideways, both left and right. We got normal attack. And we got flame breath. And yep, this is where your crazy stuff is really. I better not do that too much before the game starts crashing on me. But honestly, this is going to be where your crazy stuff is going to begin with the Celestials. Next is Prometheus, the Celestial. We have about 30 million health. Yeah, these guys are huge. The loudest I have to say is Raphis over there. But our stats, we got about 27,500 into stamina, 65,000 into weight, 100 into melee and movement. Of course, we got bite, fire breath, and whatever that attack's supposed to be. And that's it. And of course, we can take flight, reverse, forward, left, and right. Now, this is the slowest one of them all to do because he is bigger. Of the two dragons, there's only two dragons, but yeah. And you're going to need some parachutes. Well, mostly getting off this guy and this guy. And this guy, not so much. And then we got Rapis, which is the loudest of them all. Yeah, awesome. The loudest. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I might actually turn that down some. There we go. Turn down some now. But we have about 15 million into health. His other stats. We have about 10,000 into stamina, 30,000 into weight, 100 into melee and movement speed. Of course, we get normal bite, and we get that big old blasty attack. And we also, yeah, get that one. And if you're on console, because of the console being the console, it makes noises on the controller if you can hear it. Hang on. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but yeah. But we'll see his other attack. Look at that attack. Oh my gosh. But this is gonna be where the crazy stuff starts beginning. Though it is gonna be a grind to get there. Simply because of the fact of well, you just gotta grind to get these guys. You gotta kill a lot of wardens, and then you gotta kill them. So the best option is just to work your way up to the Uber bosses. The tameable Ubers. Once you get them, you should be able to take these guys on. I'm not gonna say you should be able to take them on with no ease because you see what health they got. And do take that as a note, all depending on what your difficulty is for your world, zoomed in too much, their levels could be higher. So they could have more health. And they're more of your in-game kind of bosses. Or tameable boss there. I just don't like the noise of the Raphis over there, but he's very loud. Very freaking loud. But he does look so cool with the like the chains on him, with the big boulders of pieces and like a lot of spear boats on him, like someone's tried drowning him and stuff. These guys look cool too with the like the metal tech stuff on their bodies and glowing the way they do. The green and the blue. But Raphas looks so evil with the red and the black. Like, everybody knows red and black is the bad guys, right? But honestly, I gotta say, if you're looking for a mod that gives you either Consuldra of the original Annunaki, this mod would be your go-to getter. Honestly, I would pick this mod any day of the time, and probably any day of the week too. I mean, Primal Chaos is pretty awesome too. It's just a somewhat a clone of Primal Fear, but it's not exactly. If you've already caught my Primal Chaos mod review, go check that one out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, this is another awesome mod that you should definitely pick up if you're looking for something slightly different than vanilla. If you're tired of the vanilla gameplay, if you're tired of vanilla playthroughs, pick this mod up. Either this mod or Private Chaos. Heck, maybe both if you have the space for them. Because they're both really awesome mods to play with. Just gives you a different kind of a vibe of when you play through them. Not only is it gonna be hard to play through them due because of the bosses and stuff, but very challenging as well. And yeah, so much more stuff to tame than regular vanilla creatures. Yeah, you can go ahead and start taming vanilla creatures in these mods, but they're not going to stand much of a chance against some of the big boys. So, yeah, do keep that as a note on your cool calendar, so that way you guys can remember that. But honestly, I'd like to know what you guys think about this mod. Have you played it? Have you not played it? Or are you think about it? And the good thing about this mod, along with the Primal Chaos, I don't know if I said it on the Primal Chaos one, but this one as well, both are cross play. So you can play them either on PC or console. So there you go. Console players and PC players are all getting awesome stuff. It took them long enough to didn't it? Finally, consoles getting some mods. Consoles are finally getting some love. But honestly, I gotta say, I like this mod. And I want to come back to it because I did one season it, and like always, that season went sideways. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, I would say go check it out. It's been a while, but go find my playlist. I do have a playlist of every single majority of the single everything I do for my YouTube channel. So yeah, go check out my Annunaki playthrough. It didn't last long, sadly, because the game decided to crash on me. But whatever, it is what it is. But I think I'm gonna call this one here, the guys. I hope you guys really did enjoy it. If you guys did, please press that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys want to. And like always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.